Hello.
Welcome. It's been a little
Welcome.
bit since we've done an espresso shot.
No, I'm so happy. A, because I love espresso,
Hmm
and they're just nice. They're nice to have
I
little.
like all kinds of espresso, the kinds that you drink in Italy.
Hmm.
I think the song, I think of uh espresso shots that we do.
Yeah.
Espresso martinis. We're gonna need to
Oh
do
yeah.
those.
We
We're
should
gonna have to
have
think about it.
espresso martinis.
What's that?
We should have an episode where we're drinking
That's what
espresso
I'm
martinis.
thinking. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're
Oh
having a
yeah.
moment, espresso martinis, apparently.
I love it.
Um, I guess they're the new Cosmo, although Cosmo is like dating myself unto itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Sex in the City a la 2000.
Love
Um,
it.
okay, so we're here today to talk about guardian ad litems, or sometimes referred to as a GAL. We live in Massachusetts, and that's the term that's used, but it may be called something else in other states.
Right.
So, Jill, why don't you give us a definition,
Okay.
and then we can
Let
kind of
me
talk
talk.
about it some more.
Yeah. So the definition we found is family courts in Massachusetts have a guardian ad litem program that hires trained specialists to investigate and write reports for the court to use in determining what's in the best interests of the children. The GAL does not have to be a lawyer and serves only in an investigative capacity. GAL investigators must perform only the duties that are within the scope of the court order of appointment. They are prohibited from advocating on the child's behalf. So that's sort of what it is. I think it's important because before I got into this industry, really, I had no idea what a GAL was. So
Of
if
course
you're
you
just
didn't.
getting into a divorce or you're going into a custody battle or worry about a custody battle, a
Yeah.
GAL is an important acronym you're going to need to know.
Yeah, and so I have experience with this, and will say
Yeah.
that, a GAL can be, or, someone to represent the interests of the child can
Hmm.
be mutually agreed upon
Right.
between the two parties, or it can be ordered by a judge.
Right.
And, as Jill mentioned, it's usually in the instance where there's a dispute or a disagreement around what the custody arrangement will be,
Hmm.
after the marriage is dissolved.
Yep.
And, they're really there to give the judge more information, right? You appear in court, and, accusations fly about, the, one parent is a terrible parent and the other parent
Right.
is, whatever it is. It's, the judge, I think, only gets to see you for a few minutes, really.
Right.
And, maybe if you're lucky, they flip through your packet of information that you painstakingly put together.
Right.
Um, but in my case, the judge clearly was looking for more information about my children and about our arrangement and about our situation. And so we were it was ordered that
Hmm.
we would hire one. Now, the challenge in particularly in our area, maybe in all areas, is that the demand for these people is
Hmm.
really high.
Yeah.
So,
What about the cost?
oh God.
It's
Yeah.
expensive, right? It's
Divorce
not.
is
It's not a.
expensive,
It's
and
not a
a
free
G,
resource or anything.
not at all. No, there are no free GALs, and the
No.
parents are expected to split the cost of the GAL, which,
Right.
hundreds of dollars an hour.
Right.
And, you don't get to dictate how many hours they do. I mean,
Right.
I don't even think if you hired one on your own, it's sort of they're trained to do their work, and it takes the number of hours that it takes.
Right.
And so what they'll so yeah, so I think obviously if parents go into having that person come willingly, it's probably better because you might have a little more control over who you pick. Now,
Mm-hmm.
some GALs have legal backgrounds and are attorneys as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some GALs have like a psychiatric or
Right.
some kind of mental health background, social work maybe.
Right.
Or I guess and anyone could really go through the training and serve in this capacity.
I think there's some requirements though, because I was like, "Oh, what's a GAL?" Not that I could ever be
Okay.
one, but um,
You have to have
there
some sort
were
of a
some standard um, education that you need.
that's good news. Um,
Yeah, I know, right? That's a good thing. Yeah.
but not all GALs are created equal, right? So,
Oh, sure not. Really.
I would suggest if you are considering hiring one or um, you're being ordered to do one, to probably do your homework and try and find out. Really, the best way is word of mouth to find out
Mhm.
who the best GAL is. Now, of course, in my instance, we had to really kind of work to find someone who would take our case on because their caseloads were so heavy.
Yeah.
Um, I wish that I had someone who had a mental health background. I ended up with an attorney,
Hmm.
and I do think that if it would have been maybe it possibly could have been a different outcome. But really, what they're looking for is, you know, are the children being cared for? And I would say that if you are, let me see how I can say this. We'll have to clean this up, but a GAL is really looking for, are the kids, being attended to with regularity? Is a parent missing a lot of their parenting time? Are the children being fed and,
Right.
going to school and bathed?
Right.
And then, from there, it's, just to be sure there's no um, drug or alcohol abuse around the kids aren't being abused, and,
Right.
like obvious abuse, not
Right.
necessarily, I think there are lots of definitions for abuse that are all valid, but really
Mhm.
what's being looked at is, are these children being harmed
Right.
physically? And really, what I've discovered is assuming those things are come out okay, chances are that the other parent is gonna, or you're gonna end up with some sort of recommendation for 50-50. Now,
Hmm.
now again, all GALs are different, so this is just
Right.
my experience,
Yeah.
and I want to use that caveat. But I think that courts are being a lot more interested in kids having equal time with their parents
Yeah. For sure.
if it's feasible.
Right.
Um, Kids definitely, unless it's a really egregious situation, courts will want kids to have time with both parents.
Yeah.
So, keeping that in mind.
Did you feel like the GAL process for you? I've heard a lot of people say that it was like very intrusive. Did you feel like it was very intrusive? Like
Absolutely.
how many times did you have to meet with them?
I met with her really twice.
Hmm.
And I
And
feel like
then,
my GAL investigation was a little bit short and maybe
hmm.
not as in depth as I would have liked, but
Hmm.
it satisfied the judge. So,
Right.
there you go. Um, I would say that yes, it's intrusive. You spend time kind of sharing your story with the
Hmm.
GAL in the beginning. Each party gets to do that,
Hmm.
and then you need to provide sort of witnesses who
Hmm.
can speak to you as a parent as well as your ex-partner as a parent,
Hmm.
um, and really to support your whatever concerns you might have about their ability to parent.
Hmm.
um and the other person does the same, and
Hmm.
then they want to meet the kid, and in some cases, in many cases,
Yeah.
they want to come to your home
Right. That's what I
and
was just gonna ask. I thought that they meet with the kids
yeah,
typically.
and meet with your children and
Mhm.
ask them how they feel about you and
Right.
your
Yeah.
partner.
And you're not
They
there, right? Like you can't be
No,
there.
you are there. You are
You
there
are?
for part of it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not they don't ask those questions in front of you, but like they want to see how you interact with your kids and
Right.
like
Oh, it's so
um
uncomfortable. Yeah.
oh,
You
you
feel like
be
you're being
literally being
judged.
watched.
Yeah.
And then they may want to speak to your kids' teachers. They may want to
Hmm.
speak to, if they have therapists or
Right.
doctors, they may want to speak to them.
Right.
Or anyone else, any other caregivers in the kids' lives.
Hmm.
It is very intrusive. And for me, like, that was the most anxious period of
Hmm.
my whole experience, and if I could do it all again, I think I would.
Hmm.
In spite of the fact that, like, I was really hoping to have more time with the kids.
Hmm.
That being said, by the time it was all over, by the time we were getting divorced, the kids were ready to be with the dad half the time.
Right.
So, you know, I feel like in the end, did I get what I wanted? Yeah, it just cost me a whole lot more money.
Right. That being said, too, I mean, I totally understand your experience, and I think that makes sense. I have seen some cases where the GAL really, saw the mental health issues of, in this case, was the father,
Hmm.
and really protected the kids, and it was a
Yeah,
very strong
yeah,
argument in court
yeah.
for the mom to have custody.
Yeah, look, I don't want to disparage the GAL's process, or
No,
it
no. I mean,
exists
it's
for a
your
good
experience,
reason.
and I don't think you were
Yeah.
disparaging. You were
Okay.
telling your
Okay.
experience.
Yeah, I think that they can play a very important role if a parent
Hmm.
is concerned about the capacity of the other parent to parent
Hmm.
because of a mental health issue,
Hmm.
which could be just regular mental health, or it could be, addiction,
Hmm. For sure.
or, um,
Or a
you
million
know,
other things. Yeah.
oh yeah, exactly, exactly. So they're definitely there to help, and
Hmm.
to really look at what is in the best interest of the kids.
Right.
So, um, what else?
I think that's your experience, and I think what a GAL is. So I think we answered the
Yeah,
question.
yeah, okay.
All right.
Well, if anyone does have questions about GALs, we have quite the hive of a community. So if you want to, ask a question on our Facebook page or on our Instagram, we'd love to get a conversation going about it.
Yes. Bye.